Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Hearthcenter, your THL show, bringing you the highlights of the latest week of THL. We don't have a latest week to report yet, but I'm Lotus and I'm one of your hosts, joined by Azalea Kari. Azalea, how are you?
I am doing well. I'm excited for another exciting season of THL and Hearthcenter.
For sure. And special guest tonight, L Bomb. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I feel like every season I get a little bit more involved with THL content. I'm playing in 3 series now. Excited to be here on Hearth Center. Looking to have a great time.
There you go. It's great having you. We have quite a season incoming. I want to ask my host before we hop into the series. I want to ask you two, what series are you most excited for this season? And I'm going to start with Azalea.
I am most excited for Trio series. I have two new teammates this season on my team, so I'm excited to work with them.
Nice. L-Bomb, what is the series you're most excited for?
So I've always been a big Legacy fan. My college Hearthstone program kind of got shut down because Blizzard stopped doing events. So our Hearthstone collegiate team lives on through Legacy. So I've always had a soft spot for Legacy.
Nice. Legacy is one of my favorite series. We will talk about it, as well as Hero and Pro tonight. So, are we ready to hop in?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm ready.
absolutely.
All right, so we're going to start with a recap of what happened in the finals last season. And we're going to start by taking a look at Hero. Now, I'm going to ask Azalea to tell us what happened in Hero finals.
All right, so I believe Hero Finals last season was, it was always playoff mode, and it was
Oh, I
oh,
have the
it
wrong
was
image. I'm fixing it.
wrong game. Yeah, but it was always playoff mode for 22 Diamonds version. And as far as I remember, APM took it. I want to say 13-6, something like that. Um, as we work to get the actual image up, that is the semifinals matchup.
But tell me,
Which is how always playoff mode made it to finals.
tell me a little bit about the season while we're getting the right image.
Absolutely. So last season we had, yeah, as you saw, I think it was 14 teams, 7 in each conference, and we had our 4 playoff teams here. We had always playoff mode, Dad Legend, 22 Diamonds version, and Department of League Administration. We see our APM versus 22 finals by way of, I think it was a super close match in the first one. I think both played 4 matches and they were decently close. Um, with always playoff mode taking the championship. Um, in the process of the season, I thought that the season I like looking back, I had a great time on the team I was on. Unfortunately, the meta didn't break as well as I didn't break super well for me playing hero personally, but um, it happens, and I am yeah. I think last season hero was pretty interesting. There was a lot of, like, the end of the season. There was a lot of jockeying for um there was a lot of jockeying for seating with Department of League Administration by overtaking F12 Black in the last week to get into playoffs.
Now, I I now have the right match. It's almost here. So,
Okay.
with the right match on, now tell us what were the finals?
All right. Finals. Oh, it was a 12-8 win for always playoff mode. A couple of sweeps, a couple of 3-2 wins. I do not know actual order. I believe the finals started with either Pace or Lamp. Uh, Pace taking Lamp and Pace taking a 3-0 for Pace over Diamond and 3-2 for Lamp over Tab. And then Geranium Battle got swept by Neji Boston. And then series, so Jim Philos and Chicken both would have. Jim Philos needed to win to keep it alive for Super Chicken to play Molestar. But Canoe was able to take a 3-2 win and lock it up for always playoff mode. So yeah, Super. Just a couple points here or there, and 22 and the Diamonds team could have been playing for, could have maybe got to that last match. So I was looking at the classes. This was the week that I believe that all the finals took place on the same week. So this was the week of the final patch of last expansion, where they gutted Druid pretty much completely for the rest of for at least the rest of the expansion.
Yep.
So there was a lot of experimenting, a lot of different classes coming back out of the woodwork. Whereas previously was a lot of Druid, Hunter, Rogue, Warrior. Hunter kind of fell kind of out of favor. There might have been some Hunter. There might have been a Hunter nerf in there too. I don't remember. But,
So, Elbom,
yeah.
anything you're thinking of about last season Hero?
Yeah, I mean, so there's a bunch of teams that always do well. Basically any team Neji Boston's on, you can expect to do well. So seeing 22 in the finals, not surprising at all. What is kind of surprising is Kaunu not bringing Warrior. I was not super caught up at this point because my team had been knocked out. I had classes and stuff going on, but I figured I'd check in and I'd see 10 Warrior brings.
Warriors.
And Kanu didn't bring Warrior, and it ended up working out. I remember seeing that, talking with my team about it, and being like, okay, I guess Warrior isn't the only thing worth playing right now. I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, it was a great series. Lots of Warrior bans on both sides, but
lots of spell demon Hunter.
Yeah, lots of spell DH, lots of Warrior, lots of Rogue. Not a super these are the 4 classes you have to bring type of meta, but still, yeah. I think interesting enough that just being there was no Warrior bring. This so and so didn't bring Demon Hunter, right? There were still some surprises to be had.
Yeah.
Fair. Anything else anyone wants to say about last season? Final thoughts before we close on talking about Hero last season?
That one good.
So my question to the two of you is, what is the highlight team of this season you would like to tell us to keep an eye out for? And I'll start with Azalea here.
I would like to spotlight a precarious moment, which is Bone Master's team, consisting of Molestar, Wild 9, Pace, Bone Master, and Epicat. So 2 members of the previous championship team in Molestar and Pace. Adding back Wild 9 and Bone Master and Epicat. Epicat, it has had a very strong start to their THL career, not losing a match, just substituting in Legacy. So this will kind of be a challenge to see them play in Hero as well. Yeah, I really like this team.
Nice. Elbom, any teams you want to highlight?
Yeah, I think I expect The Last Dance to put in a lot of work. Neji Boston always does, super well. Like I said, runner-up last season. I believe 2 seasons ago in Hero, their team won. Dankestad, Diamond, Tab, Jim Philos, all fantastic players. It's kind of crazy to think that this team still comes in under the PR cap. Just a crazy set of players across the board, and they always do well, so I'm excited to see them do well again this season.
For sure. Now, I'll keep us moving on to our second series of the night. So why don't we talk about Legacy? I'll ask Elbom this time. Elbom, what happened in Legacy last season? Tell me a little bit about it.
So Legacy last season, I believe the finals were Alpine Marchands taking it over Amberflight Gaming, 14-11, if my information serves me correctly. Yeah.
Yep.
With the image now up on screen. Um, the order was Cherub going first against Diamond, taking an unfortunate loss to start for AFG, a team who had looked much like more dominant with Neji Boston, Ron Mexico, Copa, Azalea, like just fantastic players. So a little bit of a rocky start. Diamond taking it 3-1. Then Neji Boston, another unfortunate 3-1 into Yo Daddy. And then Copa pulling out the first win for AFG 3-2. Azalea going 0-3, and then Ron Mexico finishing it out going 3-1. So a very close series. I can't talk tonight apparently. The win was alive for both teams right up until the final match. Super close. Lots of DH brings, lots of Warrior brings, same as last series. Or not last series. No, series is the correct word. Jeez, I'm all over the place tonight. Lots of interesting games, and yeah, it was 159 to 162 points.
Yeah.
For sure. Azalea, anything you want to say about Legacy? You were in these finals, weren't you?
Yeah, it was a roller coaster because we started down 8-2. Starting 8-2 is very tough to come back from. Copa's match was a reverse sweep, so to add to the tension, Copa was like 0-2. This like as soon as this hit 0-2, it's like, oh man, like this is bad. Like, but slowly he clawed back. I think the match was about an hour or more, honestly. Then my match. Again, you saw the no warrior bring freed me up to ban Priest. I felt good into pretty much any deck, into like the other decks that he would bring, and I got a pretty good win, a 3-0, which allowed us to have a chance and not have to like it made it so any amount of points from Ron would get a win, because there was like some point stuff. If I lost any points, but yeah, overall it ended up being a tough pill to swallow. That we came very close and didn't get the title.
Yeah.
But kudos. I mean, A2 pulled out pulled out a very aggressive lineup and just kind of blitzed Ron down. Is from what I can remember in the final match. Yeah, if it from my perspective it feels bad. From their perspective, it's was 3 championships in a row for Geranium. Yeah, I mean, this was one of my most enjoyable Legacy seasons. I love that team. I loved being their captain and playing alongside them. Seeing the fact that I went 3-7, I was like, man, like there was a lot of down points for me, but two players going 6-1 in the regular season and a player going 5-2 really carries morale.
For sure.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts anyone wants to share about Legacy? So, speaking of Legacy, my question for the two of you here is, what is the team to watch for this season in Legacy? And I'll start with L-Bomb.
I'm personally really excited to see how Blind Bandits do. They're an all-blind THL team, which I don't believe we've ever had before. So
Nope.
No.
Regardless of like playoffs, winning the series, whatever, right? I'm just super excited to see their performance. I think it's super cool that they have a whole team of visually impaired players. I think that's. I mean, I'm just super excited. That's so cool.
It's such a cool team. I'm really excited for them. Azalea, anyone else, other team you want to highlight?
Um, scrolling. Uh, I will highlight standard THL degenerates. They have been around for many seasons. They have won a championship. Not with this specific roster. I believe it wasn't with this roster, but they get close to playoffs or make playoffs every season, and I really love the guys on that team. So I think I'm looking forward to seeing them doing well this season for sure.
Nice. Those are some interesting calls for sure. We'll keep it going for the sake of having our show not last too long into Pro Series, where Pro Series was fast and furious. Elbom,
Yeah, Pro
tell me
Series
about
was
that
Fast and
one.
Furious.
What happened in Pro last season? Elbom?
Oh, sorry. I guess my audio cut out there for a second
Oh
at the end.
yeah.
So it ended up being Brushy Tuna taking it over Aussie Pro Mafia very, very fast. 12-3. 3-3 win series in a row. Banter, Pocket Train, Ron Mexico, all fantastic players that you expect to do well, but seeing the series end after only 3 matches is always kind of surprising. Um, 6 Ramp Druid bans on both sides. I believe this was before the Druid nerf
Patch.
had happened. Yeah,
So
pre-patch.
all matches happened pre-patch.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So unlike the other 2 series, we were finishing before the patch came out. So this was back when Yogg was everywhere. Druid was
Yep.
doing the Druid thing. So 6 Ramp Druid
Rogue,
bans.
yeah.
Yeah, kind of expected to see lots of Secret Rogue, lots of Control Warrior, lots of Rainbow Mage. People still not sure between regular 30 card and Renathal XL Rainbow Mage.
Mhm.
Yeah, Brushy Tuna, always a team you can expect to do very, very well. Them taking the series is not um, super surprising, beating out college player retirement home before the finals back in semis. Just a team that
Mhm.
always does well. Seeing them win 12-3 here is not surprising at all.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
go-
it's so funny because the other two matchups just had their decks filled in from the previous week. I'm pretty sure because
Yep.
they were done before submission, so the other people rolled over.
I'll be honest, I didn't even finish scheduling.
Yeah, I don't think people. I don't even know if Base and Masher or Lotus and Outlaw had scheduled.
Base
Before.
had scheduled. I had not
Okay.
scheduled. We were in the middle of it.
Gotcha. Oh wow. Yeah. Um. I remember, and the reason for this was because of the MT being that week. So, the 2 players that would go on to be the finals of that MT, McBannerface and Pocket Train, had huge wins. And then Ron Mexico closed it out with a clean sweep. And yeah, really, Pro is interesting. I mean, Pro Series does have Brushy Tuna I expected a lot of these teams that made playoffs to make playoffs. I think the same thing. Diamond asked a question.
Well,
That I guess we can maybe talk about as well.
yeah,
Which is
Diamond
the
gives
three-
us
which
a
is the
lead
three-peat.
to the next question, which is, what is a team you think is going to do well this season? Do I think? I mean, the team still has me dragging them down, so I think no. But they were able to win twice despite me.
I mean, they didn't even need you to play the last match at finals
No.
last season. So, maybe you'll end up in the same situation. The less games you play, the more likely they are to win.
Yeah, and as Diamond mentioned it, and the new team isn't up here, but this team is the four same is Banter, Pocket, Ron, Lotus Knight, and in Based Inc is taking a break season, and they've added Dread Eye. So You know what's better than two GMs or two ex-GMs? Three of them. Yeah, it's Red
Be
Eye.
your 2 GM team and
And
raise you 3.
yeah, there's been I think this might be like one of the craziest, just like condensed amount of like Hearthstone skill on a team I've seen in THL.
Maybe ever.
In general, I think yeah, and this is having been around during the Hype Horizon seasons when that team was super stacked as well. I think this is a little bit slightly better overall, I'd say, but I will pick a different team outside of Brushy Tuna. I will say, I am excited for. I'm excited for this Last Dance squad, the pro version of it. Neji Boston, Asian PWE, Donkey, Heat Shock, and Aquaman Fit 575 or Aqua. It's a slightly different version of the college player retirement home, with only I believe 2 returning players in Neji and Pee Wee. Maybe I don't believe Aqua played on the team last season, but this team looks really good and very formidable.
Mm-hmm. L-Bomb, any teams you want to highlight in pro?
Yeah, I'm super excited to see how the pro team for AFG does. We saw in Legacy that they were able to make it to the finals of that series last season, and I think that their pro team is just as good, if not, slightly better. We got Flying Kraken, Dragon Rider, Being Rachel, Jagatari, and this week, all players who've had fantastic Hearthstone, not even necessarily like THL seasons, but like players that you consistently see in the Hearthstone sphere. I know Dragon Rider and Being Rachel both stream on Twitch relatively often. I try to be in their chats as often as I can, though that's not very often anymore with finals week coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Just a super solid team, team that's put in work before, always puts up great numbers, and I'm excited to see them put up some more numbers this season.
For sure. If I can highlight one team that I actually think A, has a great name, but B, also can be doing quite some work, is the staff of the 4 Dubs and Owl.
Yeah.
With Owl, Stinzy, L-Bomb, Hustle, and Copa. I think that's going to be an interesting team to watch this season in pro as well.
Those are my boys. I love all of them.
To be playing with them again.
I didn't want to pick L-Bomb's team because you said not to pick.
I mean,
yeah. I love your team. I guess it was not pick my own team, which I'm not on a team.
Yeah, it's very funny. So we're the staff of the 4 Dubs and Owl, because I believe Copa's other team that he's captaining is the staff of the 5 Dubs. And, it's staff of the 9 Frogs. So we had to do something to add up to 9.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Is
that his wild team, I guess?
He's also not a frog. He's an owl.
So true.
Yeah, I see.
9 frogs and 1 owl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will not go 0-4 in pro this season, I promise. I will win one of my first 4 matches.
Let's go.
Any final thoughts on this match? Or on pro?
I mean, super excited for this season. Yeah. I love. It's fun to like kind of pay attention to some series that you're not playing in. It's more difficult to keep up, but just like glancing at standings is kind of neat. And obviously, as a Hearthcenter host, I try to keep up as best I can to like see how things are going.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, bringing us back to the main screen, I have a checkout question, and I was going to do the usual one, but I figured there isn't enough data to do it. So my question is going to be different. It's going to be, what class do you think we should keep an eye for this season? So there are always classes that are doing super well and classes that are not. My question is, what class should we really pay attention to? And I'll start with Azalea.
Mage. think Mage is going to be a huge factor this season. In general, I think having a couple, at least even just to start, we have a couple of variations of decks that are seeing play at high levels. You have just regular Mining Mage, and you have Mining Mage with Sith. I think Mage is going to see a lot of brings early, and I don't really foresee it going down without some meta changes, taking it out of favor.
Mm-hmm. And L-Bomb, how do you feel?
I think so. Same thing with lots of different varieties of decks to play. I'm scared to see Druid this season. Um, Druid, just this expansion alone got Dragon Druid, Highlander Druid. There's Drum Druid getting brought back because of like Topior shenanigans now. You could just do so many different things with that class. I feel like in any lineup, there's a reason to consider bringing a Druid deck. And even if, some balance changes happen and Druid gets taken down a peg, I'm sure a different Druid deck will rise to, take that number 1, 2, 3, whatever spot in the meta. It's just they have all the tools they need to succeed, and I expect them to succeed because of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Any final things anyone wants to mention before we finish our show? First Hearthcenter of the season.
I'm
Nothing
excited.
except for... Oh, you go. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I was just going to say nothing except for thanks for having me on. I love helping to produce THL content. This was a great break from my web systems class project that I've been working on. And,
Nice.
much needed breath of fresh air for the evening. So thank you very much for having me.
Hey, thank you so much for coming, L-Bomb, whenever you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. From me, I'm super excited to be back doing Hearthcenter this season. And I will also be casting Saturday nights with Wild9 and crew. So excited to see THL content come back. Excited for this expansion in total, for Showdown in the Badlands. Yeah. Thank you for hosting as always, Lotus.
My pleasure. And as a final note, I want to remind everyone of the Battle of the Discords tournament taking place this weekend. Sign up. There's still time. Play. It's going to be fun. I'll be casting, as will some of your regular people here, so check us out. With that, I want to wish you all a good night, and we'll see you all later. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Adios.